Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the school is in a panic, and I'm in the library. I've got students down under the table, kids. Heads under the table. I saw a student outside. I was involved in earlier, God. Okay. I was on hold duty. I saw a gun. I said, what's going on out there? And she pointed the gun straight at us and fired. And my God, the window went out. And the kid standing there with me, I think he got hit.
We got help on the way, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Stay in the line.
There has been a terrible shooting at a high school in Littleton, Colorado. Because the situation, as I left to come out here, apparently is ongoing, I think it would be inappropriate for me to say anything other than I hope the American people will be praying for the students, the parents, and the teachers. And we'll wait for events to unfold, and then there'll be more to say.
The tragic events at Columbine High School had a profound impact on not only the students who witnessed the horrible acts firsthand, but also America and its school system.
Dylan Harris and Eric Klebold set two 20-pound propane bombs in the cafeteria, set to go off at approximately 11:17, when most of the students would have filled the cafeteria. 11:19 a.m. Rachel Scott, age 17, is killed by shots to the head, torso, and leg on the grass area next to the west entrance of the school. Richard Castaldo, also age 17, is shot in the arm, chest, back, and abdomen on the same grassy area. Eric Harris then shot 3 students walking on the west staircase. Daniel Robro, age 15, was killed by a shot to the chest. Sean Graves and Lance Kirkland survived with wounds to the legs and abdomen. Eric and Dylan then proceeded up the west staircase to the west entrance. At approximately 11:24, Jefferson County Deputy Sheriff arrived on the scene and began shooting at Harris and Klebold, distracting them from injured students.
The shooters next headed to the library. As they entered it, Harris yelled to get up, then started yelling at jocks and shooting at people who were wearing baseball caps. Over time, they started firing at people trying to escape by staying low and crawling under tables to get to safety. They proceeded to pass by the packs of tables in the library, shooting at people in sight. Eventually, they stated that they were getting bored of shooting people and wanted to knife people, and then they left the library. In a matter of 7 minutes, they had killed 10 people in the library. Kyle Velasquez, Stephen Curnow, Cassie Bernal, Isaiah Showells, Matthew Ketcher, Lauren Townsend, John Tomlin, Kelly Fleming, Daniel Mauser, and Corey DePuter had all been shot to death.
At approximately 11:44, the two went down the staircase into the cafeteria, where they were filmed by security cameras. Harris knelt down and shot at one of the propane bombs. The shots did not detonate the propane bomb. Dylan left a pipe bomb next to one of the propane bombs. It detonated at approximately 11:46. The shooters re-entered the library at approximately 12:02. Once inside, they shot at police through the west windows. At approximately 12:08, they moved near the bookshelves. They stayed there until 2:38 when they committed suicide. In January 1998, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold were arrested by police officers for trying to break into a van. This is where the shootings began, where their feelings of discontent and anger towards society originated. Both Harris and Klebold began keeping journals of their progress soon after their arrests. The pair documented their anger and their feelings. It also documented their plans for the school shooting and their preparations up until the school shooting. Along with their journals, the pair kept videos to use as documentation of the explosives, ammunition, and weapons they had acquired illegally. These videos also reveal how they became so proficient at firearms. In one of the videos, it shows them practicing with some of the firearms they had acquired.
Although they had made these videos, that wasn't the only thing everyone was worried about. In one of Dylan's classes, he wrote a paper which his teacher was concerned about. She said it was a good story, but was very concerned that it could affect him. She called his parents, and his parents said that they would take care of it. When his parents talked to him, he said that it was just a story, and the problem was laid off. The story that he had written was about a man going on a shooting spree, and his teacher took great concern in it.
Part of Eric and Dylan's preparation for the shooting was the construction of almost 100 pipe bombs. These pipe bombs were created with instructions from the internet. They got supplies for these pipe bombs from local hardware stores.
Some myths arose about why they did it. One was that they were taking revenge against school bullies and called themselves members of the Trenchcoat Mafia. There had been a group of students in Columbine High who called themselves the Trenchcoat Mafia. Eric and Dylan weren't members. However, in this video they made, they portray themselves as assassins in black trench coats.
Do not even screw with that little kid. If you do, I'll rip off your head.
The video was made for a class project, based on an essay made by Eric called Trenchcoat Mafia, Hitmen for Hire.
I don't care what you say. If you ever touch him again, I will frickin' kill you.
Both Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold were said to wear the black trench coats at the attack out of necessity. In Eric's internet blog, he had described how fascinating Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection was. Eric stated, "Natural selection, damn, it's the best thing that ever happened to the earth. Getting rid of all the stupid and weak organisms." On the day of the shooting, Eric wore a white t-shirt with the words "Natural Selection" on it, while Dylan wore a black t-shirt that had "Wrath" printed on it.
Years later, the word Columbine is still synonymous with school violence. It has impacted our culture deeply, and years after the fact, reasons for the tragic event have not been answered. Since Columbine, more than $3 billion have been allocated to school safety programs. The $3 billion allocated towards school safety systems have been spent on different security equipment, such as cameras, motion detectors, different surveillance equipment. They've also been spent on training personnel and hiring new different security personnel. Also, because of this event, law enforcement officials have improved their crisis response plans to deal with these kinds of emergencies. The new standard operating procedure for police in any school shooting is to enter the building and seek out the shooters upon arrival. This procedure came about as a result of lessons learned at Columbine. Schools have also instituted zero-tolerance policies concerning weapons and violent behaviors.
Well, weapons is, I hate to use the term zero tolerance because I like to work with kids and work with people in terms of what's going to work. How are they going to be educated on the choices that they've made and to not have that choice be made again. But with weapons, it is zero tolerance. It's expulsion for somebody who brings in a weapon. We have had one young person, it's about 5 years ago, brought in a toy pistol and wasn't waving it around or flashing it around, but it kind of killed me a little bit because we had to expel that student. We felt that he had shown enough people, and a couple of people actually thought that it was a real weapon. So unfortunately, we had to expel that young person, and he happened to be a senior in high school. But we didn't think we had any other choice. Because not only do we have to send a message to that person, but we have to send a message to the rest of the student body. Hey, we're not going to tolerate this stuff here. We're going to do whatever we can to keep everybody here safe. So weapons are pretty much non-negotiable, zero tolerance.
On April 16, 2007, on the Virginia Tech campus in Blacksburg, Virginia, United States, the perpetrator, Sung-Hee Cho, killed 32 people and wounded many more before committing suicide, making it the deadliest school shooting in U.S. history, leading above Columbine. The incident received international media coverage and drew criticism of U.S. laws and culture from commentators around the world. It sparked intense debate about gun violence, gun laws, gaps in U.S. system for treating mental health issues, the perpetrator's state of mind, the responsibility of college administrations, privacy laws, journalism ethics, and other issues.
Shots in the hall, and then they came in and they all told us to get under the desk, and we all got under the desk, and then they just started coming in the library and opening fire, and I was under a table and people were getting shot all around me. And then he came into the library, shot everybody around me, then put a gun to my head and asked if we all wanted to die, and we started just screaming and crying and telling him not to shoot me. And so we shot the girl, she shot her in the head in front of me, and he shot the black kid because he was black.
Automatic weapons, sawed-off shotguns, and pipe bombs.
Patrick Ireland, who was shot in the head twice, spent several months in rehabilitation. He made a nearly full recovery and graduated as valedictorian in the class of 2000.
I was focusing on me getting better, getting back to as strong as I could, as smart as I could, and I was able to do that.
The remainder of Columbine students who survived are living out their lives to the fullest, even though some are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder to this day.
The tragedy of the shooting at Columbine High School has left an indelible mark on all those involved. The things learned at Columbine has made us change our system, and in the process made American schools a safer place.